Fellowship. It's Ashley Bratton, Church Growth and Development. Listen, I love our Thursdays. The fourth Thursday, we have new content every month to help you, resources for you, for your church, for your ministry. Couldn't be more excited about it. Today, we have an amazing special guest. She's on staff at Redemption. She also has been a longtime member of Redemption Fellowship. She's passionate about people. She's passionate about making a difference. And she is going to be talking to us today about online church. So can you guys help me welcome Pastor Kaye Golden, the online pastor for Redemption.
Hi, Ashley. Thank you so much. I'm so blessed to get to be part of Redemption and what Pastor Ron is doing and how he is blessing and just changing lives through the kingdom. And I'm excited to share online ministry today. And just my hopes today is for some pastors to see this and possibly just to spark a vision in them and how they can take what they're doing for the kingdom and take it outside of the walls of their church. So I really hope this will be a blessing to you guys. Again, it's a sneak peek of just why we do online ministry and just some things about how we really just try to have community for our online family. So I hope you guys enjoy. I'm going to share a video and we'll come back afterwards. And if you have any questions, we would love to help you with that.
Let's jump right into online ministry. So today, the purpose of this is to really, if you're not already doing online ministry, is to kind of give you insight, a little sneak peek into how we do online ministry at Redemption, and just really to hopefully infuse just some curiosity and some inspiration into you in how this could look for your church to reach people outside of the church walls. So we're just going to talk today about taking technology and using it to share your church past your physical church walls. If I ever have seen a picture that makes me think of iChurch or online ministry, it's this picture. It's just that whole vast seeing the world on a map, and then there's all these people here. And a lot of times we see people joining us online as just computers, people watching a service, but it's not. It's people, it's lives, it's marriages, it's people that need healing, it's people that want their lives changed, it's people that are hungry for the kingdom message. And the Great Commission tells us to go into all the nations, and thank God technology has allowed us to be able to do this like no other age, to reach people in the remotest areas of the world. And so praise God for technology. I know a lot of times that technology can be scary to people that may not be using it in advanced ways, but it's like Pastor Ron said recently in a staff meeting, is that we've got to take the world's money and use it for the kingdom. We need to take technology and use it for the kingdom, because we are doing good through this tool. And it doesn't belong to the enemy, it belongs to the kingdom, and we're going to take it and use it for that. Pastor Hope said recently in a staff meeting that ministry is all about winning the lost and equipping the saints. So today I want to just show you how we're doing that through this tool of technology. Now, these are the faces, some of the faces of our church. And I think it just really brings you to see it in a different way when you actually see the faces and the people that are touched by it. Rebecca is in New York. This is her mom, Audrey, who has been a powerful force in the kingdom, and she actually lost her last month. And we've just been ministering to Rebecca. She's very involved in our iChurch chat and in life groups, and she's been such a blessing to so many through iChurch. And we just love her, and we hurt with her at the loss of her precious mom. The Howes are in Alaska, and if you've never heard of North Pole, Alaska, there actually is a North Pole, Alaska, according to Jeff. He let me know that that's where they're at. And that's pretty cool. And he is actually a pastor there. He has a ministry, but he found Pastor Ron, and it impacted his life so powerfully. He's like, I got to get in this church, and I want to be under this covering, and I want to be a member of this church. So he's actually joining us. He is also involved in our chat, and he's actually new. He actually joined the church this year, and we're so glad to have the house with us and just praying for them as they do kingdom work in Alaska. And Tammy, she is in Kansas, and she is so precious. She's very active in our Facebook group, and she's active in chat, and she's just a blessing to everybody around her. And Tracy Stokes is in France. So it's pretty cool. I've actually got to meet her a couple of times when she's come to the church, but she's a blessing. She's involved in life groups in our chat, and she has actually been with the ministry since 2014 and such a blessing to so many people. Eileen is actually from Michigan. She is married to a quadriplegic. He's been that way for 30 years, and she is the caregiver for him and also for her 97-year-old mother. So can you imagine how hard that would be? But she lets us know that how much iChurch and the family there have supported her and just encouraged her. And we are believing, we're praying for God to do a miraculous healing in her husband and just to change that whole situation. But she loves the support of her iChurch family, and we are so thankful for her. And she's always just shining a light and encouraging others, despite many people not realizing the pain that she's having to go through and the struggle. If you can imagine, marriage is not always easy. And can you imagine the strain that this would put on a marriage? So we love Eileen, and we just keep her lifted up, and we love having her part as iChurch. And Kathy is actually a newbie to iChurch. She is in Texas. So I learned this at a conference I attended recently, that 250 million people in the U.S. claim to be Christians, but only 40% physically attend a church. So that really surprised me. Like that, I knew it was a lot, but just to see those numbers. And my heart is to reach out to those 60% that have no community around them. They have no people that's reminding them, you know, hey, God's in the situation. Speak the scriptures, believe it. And I think we have a mandate as the church, not only to reach the people in the church, but to reach the people outside the church walls, the people that may never come to a church. We can affect their lives. We can see them grow. And I have seen it so many times, even in the chat, people will come in talking a certain way. 6 months later, after being in the ministry and hearing that word every Sunday, they're just like a different person. You're like, wow, look at God. And I'm telling you, it has just amazed me how that God knows no boundaries. Like if people are willing and hungry to chase after him, he is not limited to what he can use to change people's lives. So I'm very passionate about reaching those people that may not conform to what we think they should do. I grew up in small town churches, and you had to be a certain way, do a certain thing to be accepted. And I think that does not draw people. And so with online ministry, it really is a way to touch people where they are and love on them as Jesus changes their lives. It's pretty amazing. Now, this is going to surprise you. Shocking stats that will make you take another look at online ministry. For every entrepreneur that is dead set on paying money for a brick and mortar building or office, pay attention to the trend. Payless stores are closing, Macy's stores are closing, Kmart stores are closing, Sears closing, Radio Shack is closed, and Toys R Us is closed. The largest transportation provider in the U.S. does not own a single car, and that's Uber. The largest movie company in the world does not own a movie theater, and that's Netflix. The largest hotel company in the world does not own a single hotel, Airbnb. So having a successful business does not require building, but it does require innovation. And I think this can also be applied to the church. Of course, there's always going to be the church. I believe there's always going to be physical church buildings, but as the church, as the body of Christ, we have to be open to innovation and ways that we can reach the people in our community, those people that will not come to the church, and also those people that maybe would come to the church if they got an inside look at what the church is like. According to Google, 30,000 people search church online each month. So I have to ask you today, will your church show up? If they do that search in your area, are they going to find your church? Those 30,000 people, probably not that many, but still a lot of people are searching for church online each month. This is not even in a year, it's a month. And you need to be part of that to touch those people in your community. What is iChurch? So iChurch is an online church experience that is interactive. People come together from all over the world and connect with each other as they participate in worship and receive a word from God. As an online campus, our vision is to reach out in redeeming love and liberating power to bring the word of God to people of all ages and backgrounds, no matter where they live. Just as Redemption Church seeks to save the lost and equip the saints, our church is an extension of the church and simply takes the vision beyond the church walls, very much like a satellite campus would do. So this is Carol from Illinois. She is amazing. She has actually been with us a couple of years and is on our prayer team. She actually had to take a break last year in the summer because she found out that she had a cancer in her chest. I think it's lymphedema, and I'm probably saying that wrong. But we've walked with Carol through this process, and it's going to bring me to tears because this is such an amazing lady. But we really grabbed hands and believed God. We spoke the scripture and we stood on the word, and she is doing better. She has a whole different outlook now. When she first went in, she was a stage 4 and they were not giving her a lot of hope. But I got this text last month before the 212 conference, and she said the first CT showed a 12 centimeter medicinal mass. It is now 1.3 centimeters, quite the deal. He has orchestrated this entire process. The 1.3 soft tissue area is residue. So I just praise God for the situation. I thank God that I got to watch it play out and just see how God moved in the situation. It's just crazy, amazing. And I just rejoice with Carol. I can't wait to have her back on the prayer team. But just, she's been comforted. She's been able to get the word and have people believe with her, no matter that she lives so far away from the campus. It's just, again, extending those church doors, the reach beyond those walls. And there's actually a picture of us together. She did come to Greenville when our campus was there 2 years ago, and I got to meet her in person, and she got to come see the church and actually sit in the sermon, and it was such a pleasure. And I'm just excited for what God has in store for her, and just thank God for what he's doing in her life. So I'm going to show you a couple of stories in between the information just to bring the people to life to you. Why iChurch? First of all, it's missional. There are people who live in places who do not have a Bible-believing church to attend, or they're in transition, or they feel led to be part of Redemption. It's evangelistic. Some people find going to church for the first time stressful. We want to help in that transition by allowing folks to join us online and know what to expect when they attend a Redemption campus. And I really got to experience this firsthand because I was attending, I was working at one of our other satellite campuses for a couple of months, and I decided I wanted to go to church. Since I work all day Sunday, I thought I'm going to find a Saturday church to go to in the evening. And so I did this. I went online and was able to check out a couple of churches and hear some sermons to where I knew exactly what to expect. And I knew if it was like the same culture that I was used to. So I really, it's a help for people to be able to see your church and to feel more comfortable when they're able to view it online. It's practical. Regular attendees of Redemption can use iChurch when they're out of town. sick or relocate to another state. And so we have a lot of people that are on vacation or different things, and they'll come in the chat even though they attend San Jose, and we always welcome them. We're excited to have them. And it's cool because they're at church. Even though they're out of town, they still want to be an active part and hear the message of their church. So we love when that happens. Our church was born in 2004. It started with audio only. In 2005, the live video was added. In 2011, a chat box was added for technical support. Well, that community grew in that little technical support chat. So in 2012, chat became used for ministry, live prayer, and an iChurch pastor was added. iChurch became an online campus of redemption. And we are thankful for the visionary team that made iChurch possible. And that was Joe Hayes, Robert Couillard, and Joey Lohman. So when all this began, there was very few churches that were doing it. So it was so cool that these guys had such vision for taking Pastor Ron past South Carolina and just anointed. So anyway, I like to always mention them because I think that's pretty cool that they had that vision before it became such a large thing. Where in the world? So this is really cool to me. I did a search for the last 6 months of different countries of people that joined us during live services. We actually have 4 services on Sundays in iChurch to where people can come in and be part of live chat. So these people actually joined us during the live services on Sunday. So it's not that they've joined in and watching on demand or an archive, but they were actually there during the live services. And I couldn't fit everybody on there, but these are some of the countries that were represented. And so we've actually seen some of the people will pop in chat, and we have some people that actually have lived in the United States and moved to other countries, and so they'll come in, or maybe they're visiting, and so that's pretty cool to see all those different countries represented. This is Joyce from Florida, Dioxy from Honduras, and Terry in South Carolina. They're actually part of a life group and came to the church to meet each other and get together. So again, it's hard to explain, but it's that thing of family, you know, in the spirit. It's just a God thing. You don't really know the person, but you're in so much connection with them and talking to them that you become friends. And then when you actually meet, it's as if you've always been friends and you're not meeting for the first time. So anyway, look at these really sweet faces. So ministering to the world, the importance of community. As you know, God knows no boundaries, and our iChurch family is able to worship and fellowship together during live services. During live service, we have pastors, hosts, and prayer partners available to minister to the needs of our iChurch family. iChurch viewers have the opportunity to be fed spiritually by the powerful Word of God. And of course, we have testimony after testimony of people that just get under this Word and their lives are changed. It's just amazing, and it's so kingdom, and it's so awesome, and it shows that our God has no boundaries. You can join the church. You can be planted in membership. You can get connected. And as you know, this is really big for us, is life groups, getting people connected, and it is a way to make a big church small, is getting the people connected. And they can do that online through fellowship and the live chat. Not everybody enjoys chat. Some people, are afraid to try that or haven't tried it. But we really encourage it because it brings that feeling of belonging and fellowship, since you're not actually able to be in a live service at the church. We have life groups, and I'm going to be showing you more stuff on life groups. Those are pretty cool, how God is connecting people. You can serve. We have several options of service through iChurch, and you can receive pastoral care. So iChurch serves. One of our big ways that we connect people is through serving. We really try to encourage people to serve, and I'm sure you do this in your church, because not only is it then the person that's attending church listening to the pastor, but then they get connected with the people beside them in the seat. And I really feel like that's a big thing about connecting people within the church, whether online or at a physical campus. For iChurch, you can lead a webcam or on-location life group. You can be part of our live service team who offers hospitality and prayer during live services. You can be an iChurch team captain. You can be on the I Encourage email team, social media team, prayer team, Facebook impact team, or the welcome team. And I'll kind of share a little bit more about those teams. On-location life groups. So again, these beautiful faces. This is a group from Iowa. These are actually people that want to meet with people in their city. So with our Redemption life groups, you do not have to be a part of Redemption to be in a life group. So these life group leaders say, hey, Pastor Ron's message has changed my life. I want to share it with other people. So they are inviting other people in their city, in their family, people they work with, to join them each week to go over the questions and just have community and talk about the kingdom. So it's pretty cool what God's doing with this. Here's a group in Kansas and a group in Florida, and we just keep being amazed at what God's doing with that. We have webcam life groups, and you would be surprised how cool these things are, to where you just feel like you're sitting in a room with other people. This is Lita's group. She actually has been in a life group for years, a webcam life group, and she told me this year, she was like, hey, I feel like I need to be leading a group. I want to pour into other people. So she just started her group a couple weeks ago, and it is going. I mean, she really is just blessing. These ladies are having the best time together, and every week she sends me her report, and she's so excited, and she's just thanking God for the opportunity to pour into these ladies. So it's pretty cool. So I'm going to give you a sneak peek into an actual life group meeting. This is a group of young ladies that are joining, having a webcam life group. And this is only like about a minute, but I wanted you to just hear, because it's really cool that they're not just watching a sermon, but they're coming together another day during the week to talk about the sermon, to go deeper. And you'll hear one lady at the end, she says, Pastor Ron said, and it's cool to know these ladies are in different states and that they're taking the message and going deeper with it. It's just cool. Oops, I didn't play it. Let me go back. Here we go.
And they're not getting the ride that they're used to getting out of you. You're like, oh, okay, sure. I know what you want me to do. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Thank you. I mean, just to think about it, just to give it, that's just like a wonderful day to be in. No matter what people do to you, it's like you're so happy, you're so joyous. Even no matter what's going on, you just find something positive in it. I mean, it's like a really good space to be in.
It really is. And Pastor Ron was saying too how like your mind is such a powerful space that's like the first place the enemy is going to try to attack you, is like in your thoughts. So not like, even just like I was saying, like about listening to the music, or like listening to my sermons in the car, or like when I'm working out, or like whatever, it doesn't give the devil any window to like seep in any area to think about this or stress about that or worry about that or have any type of irritation. Like it gives zero space. So when I do have to check out, because this is the real, it's the world, when I do have to clock into work and I do have to, interact with other people, I'm equipped. Like I feel.
Wow, isn't that just so cool? And we all need reminders. We all need that encouragement, that iron sharpening iron. And again, this is just an example how it isn't limited to inside a church. Yes, inside a church is very important. Like that's Pastor Ron's heart, is if people can be in a church, we want them in a church. We want them physically connected to a community. But for those that don't have it, we still want to bring them the things as much as possible that a church can give them to just enhance their lives and have them be a blessing to others. This group of ladies actually came to one of our 212 conferences. You see that they have their little shirts, cross-country crew, And they came from 2 from Texas, North Carolina, Delaware, and California. And not only did they come to the church for the first time, but they said, we want to serve while we're here. So they attended the conference and they served, and I think that's pretty awesome. That's kingdom, right? This is another webcam life group. Ohio, 2 from South Carolina, Delaware, and Florida. Again, they came during one of our special events to the church for the first time and to meet. And it's cool, the back of their church says, I church in the house, and it has their state. So these people, they're proud of their church. They're proud. This is a cool story of Sherry and Lou. They are actually in one of my webcam life groups, and they just got connected during the life group. They shared phone numbers, and it's probably been about 2.5 years now that they've been friends, and they decided finally they were going to meet, and Sherry had a conference for work in D.C., and Lou lives in the next state, so they actually met up in D.C. and got together and had a girls' weekend, and this is one of their pictures, and isn't it so cool? Like, they've never met each other, but in spirit, they knew each other. So I think that's just amazing. So I want to share you our live service team. So these beautiful faces from Greenville, Columbia, there's Sherry from Indiana, Greenville, the twins, Columbia, North Carolina, Greenville, and Alabama. And Chad from Alabama, I actually have a testimony I'm going to share that he gave that I thought was pretty cool. So this is some of the team. I'm going to share some more pictures, but this is Chad. I asked him, why do you love iChurch? And he said, where do I begin? I love the connection we have with people regardless of location. I love being able to join in and have praise and worship in the middle of my kitchen, living room, or office. I love hearing a powerful, life-changing message from Pastor Ron live as he is preaching. I love having online pastors who are welcoming and make you feel like family. I love having prayer pastors who will pray with you one-on-one, joining their faith with yours in agreement for the will of God to be done in your life. I love receiving encouragement, whether from the Facebook group or text sent out by Pastor Kaye. I could go on, but I love that I am made to feel like I am part of redemption because I am. So I thought that was pretty awesome. So here's more of our live service team: Connecticut, Ohio, Columbia, Thousand Oaks, California, and North Carolina. These people help us make services happen on Sunday. I'm so thankful for them. We also have volunteer teams of people that can serve during the week. They're not constrained to certain times. The biggest things we do in our church is we pray, we welcome, and we encourage. So we have our church team captains that are over the certain volunteer groups that we have that just kind of stay connected with everybody, check in, and encourage those that are serving. We have an I Encourage email team, and this is people agree to send out encouragement to people. Not everybody has Facebook or social media, and some people don't have positive influences around them, and so they're able to receive these emails from people that join them at iChurch to encourage them and just remind them, hey, God's got you. We have a social media team. I recommend this for any church, whether online or physical, that you have a group of people volunteering to just send out invites and share things about your church, because it's free advertising. You're reaching people that you may not be able to reach just with your church social media. So I feel like that's very important. We have a prayer team on our church, and we send out a prayer calendar each month, and it gives them certain things to go over and pray for. So we're all corporately praying the same day for the same thing. And then we meet before services on Sunday morning and pray over the services for that day. So thankful for the prayer warriors in our church. We have a Facebook group, and this is a big way that we're able to stay connected during the week between services. And this is Eli. We call him our iChurch baby. His grandfather put the post there on the left up. He was born and he was 4 pounds, and they weren't expecting him to live. And I'm telling you, he put a lot of posts up. We just kept praying. And as you can see on the right, this sweet, cute little boy, is thriving now. And we just thank God again that we get to watch God and his miracles and what he's doing in the lives of his people all over the place. So this gives you a little insight of the iChurch chat. And again, we have a welcome team. And not only do we have hosts going in and welcoming people, but we have iChurch members. You see Terry there is welcoming people. So they're not only getting welcomed from the team for Redemption, or iChurch, they're also getting welcomed by the people sitting in the iPews beside them. So it's really cool. You cannot help but feel welcome when you come into iChurch. It's pretty awesome. And just seeing how people feel the love of God when they come in and get connected, and then they hook up with each other and become friends and encourage each other. Again, it's just amazing what God is doing through online ministry. And this is the CHOP platform. It's free to churches. Life Church actually built this, and they do an amazing job. And we didn't use it years ago, but we just moved to it last year, and it's really been a blessing to have it. Where you have everything in one. And so if you are interested in learning more about doing online ministry, I can meet with you and kind of go a little deeper with how the back end of that church online platform looks. So these are just a couple of cool pictures I wanted to share. We do communion on iChurch. I usually send out an email and put in our iChurch group that we're going to be having communion, and for them to get their crackers and juice ready. And so sometimes they'll send them pictures. And so this is a lady from New York and a lady from Washington State share their pictures. And then we also, for New Year's, have watch parties where people invite people for New Year's over to their house and they watch the service. It's really cool. So this is a group in Alabama that had a watch party. And so we get a lot of those pictures, and it just is really cool to see that. So these are some stats for 2018. For iChurch, online salvations and rededications were 283 people. Over 130,000 joined us for live services. So that's not on demand, watching it during the week. We have so many people that do that, but these are people that say, I want to have church with you. Some have a local church, and they may go to their church and then come join us live in iChurch. Again, that's something Pastor Ron's heart is for people to be in a local church. So we love that when people attend a local church. And then also, I'm telling you, that's hungry for God when you go to church in your hometown and you come online for church. So we love that. And we have people that join us online for all services that don't have local churches. So it's really cool to see how people are hungry for God. 982 people met during the week for an iChurch life group, whether on location or webcam. So that's pretty cool that these are people not joining us for live service, but they actually came a second time to church that week to meet and talk about the Word of God. 1,194 people were ministered to in prayer by iChurch staff and volunteers during live services. 2,219 people were ministered to in iChurch Facebook group by iChurch staff and volunteers. And right now we have 68 active remote volunteers that are spread out all over the United States, and actually have a few people in different countries. So I'm wrapping this up, believe it or not. Some of my favorite tools for ministry for online church, of course, Church Online platform, and that's free. It's an amazing tool to use. And again, free 99. And one of the main things you would need to get started, again, you got to remember, you're not paying for a building, you're not paying air conditioning, electricity, water. You have a lot of things that are available free to get you started. You would need a volunteer or a person that you really trusted to be in charge of just coordinating it. But again, I can't encourage you enough to have an online ministry, to really invest in the people that want to be involved in your ministry. Text in church, even if you don't have that at your local church, it's one of our favorite tools at Redemption. It's very helpful with the online community because we're not physically seeing people. I definitely recommend that. Zoom is imperative for online ministry because we do a lot of our ministry one-on-one counseling type thing through Zoom meetings. We also have some of our webcam live groups through that. It's just a great tool to have. Very simple. MailChimp, again, this is newsletters, that type of thing that you can send out. It's free up until you reach a certain amount of subscribers. So again, another free thing. Woofu, again, is free till you get to a certain amount of subscribers. So these are some of my favorite tools. And if you have any questions about any of those, reach out to me. If you want to set up a time to talk about online ministry, I would love to do that. And I appreciate you listening to more about iChurch and what God's doing. God bless you in your ministry and what you're doing for the kingdom.
Oh my goodness, that is so awesome, Pastor Kaye. I mean, I am sitting here blown away, got teary-eyed so many times. Yeah. Thinking about the people, that's what ministry is about. It's about reaching people where they are. And, I so admire about you. I know when you started back in 2012, you started small and you started with a heart to reach people and to love on people where they were at. A lot of people were not doing online ministry back then. It was brand new. You guys had to trailblaze but you had to trailblaze. You had to pray, hear God. And it is so cool to me to just see how it's exploded. There's so many iChurch members. The giving has exploded. But you know what? To me, all of that is cool. But the coolest part is just the sheer number of people that are being impacted and changed because you're their connector and you are their pastor and you are able to take the stuff God's put in you and the resources of redemption and share it and get it into those households. So hats off to you for all that God's used you to do. I mean, it is powerful, powerful, powerful.
It's amazing to just see what, this ministry has changed my life upside down, and just, I could go all day just to share how this ministry has changed my life. And I actually lived an hour from the church when I got started, and people are like, you're driving an hour to church. But you know what? When you find something that's changed your life and it's your voice, you're going to go after it no matter what. And so these people feel that. And you know what? They don't play. Pastor Ron is their pastor, and they will let you know that in a heartbeat. And they're just so thankful to have the opportunity to be part of this ministry, despite that they're not in a local, they're not close to the local church. And a lot of people will move. And I totally get that. I probably didn't 15 years ago, but since I've been in this ministry and how my life has changed, I would totally pack up and move. I get that. And so it's just amazing to get to be part of facilitating what God is doing and getting to know these people. These are some amazing people. It's just amazing. I feel so blessed to be able to be connected. I've made a lot of friends that are just in different places, but yet we have a close relationship, just that God connection. So it's been so fun, and it's been a blessing. And you're right, we started, and there was not a lot of people to go to try to get help. And that's why I'm so passionate about helping other churches. And I love that about Pastor Ron. He's so passionate about just getting under people and helping them be able to use their gifts to impact the kingdom. And I love that. I do.
It's so cool. And I love when we actually do events, conferences or things in Raleigh, and iChurch family comes because they adore you and they have such a passion for everything. It's so great. And listen, we wanted to offer this. The whole point of offering this and having you as our guest speaker today is because there's so many churches in the fellowship. I know me and you've had lots of conversations. Like a lot of them do Facebook Live and already kind of do stuff that are reaching those people. So hit them out a little bit. I know we've kind of talked, but
absolutely,
it's not as hard as we probably make it in our head, right? It's
really not. And so I'm actually talking to a local Baptist church that just started Facebook Live and trying to help them get started on the online ministry, because what you're doing with Facebook Live, by the way, if you're not doing Facebook Live, you should definitely, it doesn't matter the size of your church, you should be doing Facebook Live, because what's happening is people are getting a glimpse into your church. Now, let me say this, actually. Do not be just throwing up anything on Facebook Live or online. Make sure you're practicing. Make sure you've really strategized this, that, you know, you don't want to just put out anything that you can't hear or the video's not good. So you do want to do it in excellence for the kingdom. But it really is a lot simpler than you would think. So I definitely encourage you. I'm not so much in the technical part. I'm more in the ministry part. I do a lot of the back end of CHOP, but Joe is on our media team, and it's a big team that makes iChurch possible, not just the iChurch volunteers and the staff there that do ministry on Sundays, but we have all these cameramen, and just he knows all the equipment, the cameras, what you can get as far as not having to pay a lot of money, what's your best option. So, you know, you want to show your church in excellence. So make sure that you have a plan and you strategize that, and not just necessarily throwing things up. I've watched a couple of online ministries and just kind of listened to their video and sound and just gave them some tips. This is how I'm hearing it. You know, you might want to do some tweak or get some advice on that. But yes, Facebook Live is so important. That's definitely a first step if you're not doing anything, because what happens is on the Facebook Live, those people in your church can share that, and then there's all these people, 200 people or more, that are possibly seeing that from that person's Facebook Live. So there's going to be a lot of people in your community that may not know your church is there that can see that. Now, I will say with Facebook Live, a lot of times social media is, you're getting so much information with social media, people are coming and going quickly, and you may not have a high, you know, people may not stay for the entire service. They may just get clips of it, which is still important. But when you have online ministry, you're pulling those people in closer, and the people that really want to be part of the ministry and are staying for the whole services, and you're putting your resources in to those people. And so again, starting with Facebook Live, but definitely open up to the online ministry to have those special resources, life groups, community for the people that really want to be part of your church online. I hope that answered your question.
No, that's great. And you know what I love about you, Pastor Kaye, and which all these pastors will as well, is that you've always been not just about reaching the people that are under our church, but just people that are passionate about reaching people that you want to pour into them and help them, and are big on equipping. And you're not stingy. You've done so much research. You've been to so many conferences, and you share all that information. So thank you so much. I know you've prepared a handout that we're going to send to everybody, as well as your contact ministry. And she prepared some questions that can help you consider if this is right for you, if you're ready, and if you are, what are kind of some steps or some guidelines. But like she said, she's available. You can call her, and if it's technical questions, we can also get you hooked up. Yeah, like she said, with our media director. But Pastor Kaye, do you have anything that you want to share kind of in closing, or any last minute tips or reminders or thoughts?
Well, I just want to thank each pastor for what you do, whether you're pastoring a church, whether you're doing some type of ministry. Thank you for what you're doing for the kingdom. And again, this type of online ministry is not only for churches. If you have a ministry that you're doing work in, that's another way that you can stream online. So it's not limited to just churches. But just continue in the work that you're doing. You know, God has prepared you. You are anointed for your assignment. And I just thank you for all you're doing. And I really do hope that this is just spark something in you, that you will take another look at technology and how that's just another tool for you to use to spread the message that God has given you and to impact the lives that God has placed under you. And so thank you for just listening. And as you see, like, I love just seeing what God's doing through online ministry and how that has evolved, and really just seeing it's a new wineskin. So we just have to take that and see how we can apply it to our church, what will work best. Some churches use it only to kind of bring people into their local church, or to actually help if they have satellite campuses to kind of push people towards those satellite campuses. we use online ministry as a tool for anybody that wants to be part of this ministry. We're going to try to provide as much as we can to make them feel part of that. So whatever your vision is, you want to take the pastor's vision and really make your online campus be in line with that. And so I do encourage you to take another consideration and look at online ministry, and I'm here to help if I can.
You're so good. Well, Pastor Kaye, you are a world changer, and we are thankful to have you on the team. I'm so thankful that you are a member of the fellowship, and I know we do. God has sent some amazing pastors to be a part of this fellowship, so we're excited about that. But as we close, I just wanted to give you guys a few reminders. Just moving forward, you know, the fourth Thursday, like I said, starting out is when we put new content every month for you, for your teams, for your ministries. And I did also want to remind you guys, in a few months, we've got the Women's Conference, the Fearless Women's Conference, September 13th through 15th. Me and Pastor Kaye already are ready to go, excited for it. And listen, there is, if you go to hopecarpenter.com, it's all the information. You click on Fearless. But there's hotel deals for $92, starting at $92, but those go fast. And so you get your $300 plane ticket, you get to grab some girlfriends, and the hotel is nothing if you get some girls to come share it with you. Husbands, it's a great gift. If you want to surprise your wife, send her to Cali. That's a way to show her you love her. And I promise she'll come back better and full and passionate. And so anyway, wanted to remind you of those things. But we love you guys. We're praying for your churches. We're praying for your ministries. And we're here for you. We're excited about what God's doing. We're excited about what's next. So you guys have an awesome Thursday, and we will see you next month.